welcome everyone live with Dr. Carolyn Dean here on AchieveRadio.com. I'm Ginny Sanders, also known as Ginny Almighty, and I will be with you for the next 2 hours along with our most glorious and gorgeous Dr. Carolyn Dean, who is here to trip the light fantastic with you and talk to you about all kinds of inspiring things that your body can do that you probably don't even know about, including be super healthy. It is possible. And before we get into our great topic tonight, I just want to give you a couple reminders. First of all, this is a 2-hour show, so strap yourself in. Get your Remag water going. For those of you who are new listeners, you'll have the great privilege also of talking to Dr. Dean tonight. Yes, this is a live call-in radio show. I think one of the best health shows here in the United States on radio, and you'll be able to actually call in to 602-666-6027 and talk to Dr. Dean about your particular health concern and get her wisdom and download her glorious ideas right out of her brain into your mind, and you two will have that wonderful synergy that so many people experience when they talk to Dr. Dean. And why do they have that? First of all, she's just a complete and total joy. And she's optimistic and positive, and she's inspiring and entertaining because she knows the truth about wellness, vitality, and your health. She knows that with a handful of building blocks and a good dose of some fresh air and some sunshine and maybe a little bit of movement, your body will be cooking along with gas, and you can enjoy this life in tremendous and marvelous ways. She knows that because she studied classical medicine, what we call allopathic medicine, here in Canada, and also been licensed in the United States many years. And then, of course, on top of that, she's been a natural medicine person from the beginning, even leading movements and being a leader in the forefront of the natural health medicine world. And she's got herbalist and acupuncture. Boy, I'll tell you what, if it can be done, Dr. Dean has done it to your great benefit, because you know what? She knows what works. And this is what we're here. We want practical solutions, and we want viable options and things that work so that we can get where we want to go. And I know where a lot of people who are listening tonight want to go, and that's to sleep. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, they want to go to sleep. Now, not before the radio show's over, but I know insomnia is a big thing in these United States and really around the world. People are stressed to the max, and they can't sleep. But Carolyn's got great solutions for that, as well as all kinds of other things. We're going to truly delight in speaking her this evening, and I welcome the dearest soul ever, my very own Dr. Carolyn Dean. Oh, wait, where'd you go? Oh, there'd you go.
I'm like a Pavlovian dog. I refuse to talk unless the children bring me on. Thank you, Judy. That was awesome. Beautiful introduction. Yes, insomnia is huge. Just last week on this show, we launched our magnesium assessment. At the bottom of the RNA Reset website, we have a magnesium questionnaire to answer. Are you magnesium deficient? Take the assessment. Now, this is just 6 simple questions. And right away, I think within a couple of days, the results were pouring in and showed that insomnia was the major complaint of people who took the questionnaire. We've got about 1,000 people who've answered the questionnaire. It's just 6 simple questions. There's one about headache, and only 25% of people had headache. The next question, do you experience insomnia? 65.1% of people experience insomnia, and that's huge. The next one, do your muscles cramp often or easily? 50.7% of people answered that with a positive. Do you experience heart palpitations? That's 49.8%. Yeah, 49.0%. Do you experience anxiety? 64%. Who knew that 64% of people are experiencing anxiety? Restless legs, 41%. So these are, yes, go ahead.
I was just going to say, let's add that these are not our customers. These are people who are new to our website, because our customers don't have. These are the newbies, people. I just wanted to throw that in. Okay, Carolyn.
Thank you. Good point, yes. These are people who are new to the site, and we put this questionnaire up in front of them, and that's why we're focusing on insomnia today. I've often said that Remag Magnesium is the best, quote, treatment for insomnia. If you still have trouble sleeping, then you may not be taking enough. But we'll go over the blog that Ginny wrote today about insomnia, and then go over some other factors that may be making people sleepless. So the blog is at drcarolyndeanlive.com, and it's titled Insomnia, Daily Deficiency May Cause Nighttime Distress. Exactly. We take sleep for granted until we start losing it. The inability to fall asleep or stay asleep at night is an indicator of insomnia. Because different people need different amounts of sleep, insomnia is defined by the quality of your sleep and how you feel after sleeping, not necessarily the number of hours you sleep, but how quickly you doze off. Even if you're spending 8 hours a night in bed, if you feel drowsy and fatigued during the day, you may be experiencing a type of insomnia. There are countless causes, but many of these particular causes are due to magnesium deficiency at the base. In fact, most individuals burn what little available dietary magnesium they have during their stressful day, and then at night, when the body requires additional magnesium to perform essential biological functions, the body remains awake and restless as it requires additional magnesium to sleep. Now remember, this is a sidebar, 80% of known metabolic functions require magnesium. Magnesium works in 1,000 enzyme processes. And who even knows, how many of those processes are involved in sleep? I'll get to a list later on. But I'm always going to be bringing up 80% of known metabolic functions require magnesium, and that's why you're taking Remag, and that's why we keep telling you that keep taking Remag and maybe take more than you have been taking if you're still having magnesium deficiency symptoms. Insomnia is one of the first symptoms to be alleviated with magnesium, and even people who sleep well report deeper, more satisfying sleep when they're saturating their bodies with magnesium, and we should be saying Remag there. There's a saying in magnesium circles that the mineral is so effective that if a person complains that magnesium isn't helping them sleep, then they're just not taking enough. There's a long list of magnesium wasters and insomnia triggers that are interwoven. It can be medications, caffeine, alcohol, heart disease, pounding heartbeat, nighttime cortisol surges, restless leg syndrome, pain, hormone shift, fear, stress, anxiety, worry, heartburn, constipation, depression, dementia, OCD, ADHD, arthritis, and menopausal hot flashes. That could be under hormone shifts. And poor recovery from something's left out there. Well, that would be from surgery or from athletics, can provoke or indicate a magnesium deficiency. There are many sleep studies that confirm the effectiveness of magnesium supplementation, but because doctors are inundated with pharmaceutical sales reps, they don't have the time to pour through the published research on effective magnesium supplements. So their patients are more likely to get a drug than an effective, highly absorbed magnesium product to alleviate their sleeplessness. Now, let me just say here that when you look at sleep medication indications, dosage, direction, side effects, most of them will say, and pretty much have to say, that sleep medications, sleeping pills, are for short-term use only. And that can be 2 to 4 weeks maximum. And how many people have been taking sleeping medications for years? And that's not what they were intended for. And what happens with most of these medications is they become addictive, and people are stuck on them, can't get off them. If they try to wean off or stop their sleeping medications abruptly, they'll have withdrawal symptoms and be thrown into even worse insomnia. So it's really not good for people to get into the habit of taking sleeping pills. That's why we do recommend the REMAG and certain tips and advice that I'll give you in a minute. How does magnesium help us sleep? Twitchy, restless, tense muscles keep you from falling into a deep sleep. Tight muscles will make you hyper-alert and irritable, and in that condition, any noise or even an active dream will wake you up. Magnesium relaxes tight, twitchy muscles so you can reach a deeper level of sleep. There are many other mechanisms for which the body requires magnesium to sleep deeply, and here's the list. GABA is the main inhibitory neurotransmitter of the central nervous system, and so activation of GABA-A receptors favors sleep. And what happens is magnesium binds to GABA gates and increases their effect. One sleep study reported on magnesium deficiency-induced anxiety-like behavior in little mice. And instead of giving them magnesium to check dosage, these mice were treated with sleep meds. So that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to take your magnesium deficiency and find medications that will treat your magnesium deficiency. Pretty stupid. Next one, research on magnesium and sleep shows that oral magnesium reverses age-related neuroendocrine and sleep electroencephalographic changes. Now, when I'm reading this, I'm thinking age-related sleep problems. You hear that from people. I'm getting older. I'm not sleeping properly. Well, maybe it's because you're becoming more and more magnesium deficient, and that's where you need REMAG. Magnesium supplementation improves magnesium deficiency symptoms and inflammatory stress in older adults with poor sleep. Magnesium reduces heart rate response to sympathetic nervous stimulation, to exercise, and to sleep problems. That was another study. 2 studies showed that chronic sleep deprivation reduces intracellular magnesium, increases heart rate, and raises plasma catecholamines from the adrenal glands. A study found that dietary magnesium deficiency decreases plasma melatonin in rats, and you've all probably heard of melatonin being used in as a sleep aid. So what are the recommendations? REMAG, it can be anywhere from 1 to 4 teaspoons a day and into the evening. Now, what some people will do, and we recommend, of course, that you start slowly and build up. And we do recommend that you put the very easy-to-use REMAG liquid in a quart of sea salted water and sip it through the day to give your cells a little bit of magnesium at a time instead of overloading with 1 or 2 doses a day, which can waste your magnesium because the cells are full, so it's just going to dump out into the urine or into your bowels. So it's better to sip it through the day. And as I said, as a liquid in a quart of water, that's going to be real easy to do. And you can flavor your water. I put a drop of peppermint essential oil in my water, and that's the way they test the taste entirely. And it can be anywhere from 1 to 4 teaspoons. Some people are just taking 1.5 teaspoons a day, and they're not sleeping as much as they want. Well, maybe that 4th teaspoon, take it all at once at night. Because if you're lying in bed for 6 to 8 hours, then most of that's going to be absorbed. You're not getting up and using the bathroom, etc. So it's going to stay with you and help your sleep. Melatonin, people will look at that. Only take 1 to 3 milligrams. Don't take the time-release melatonin. And you take that 30 minutes before bedtime. But I like people to do the Remag first before they move out into other sleep aids, because usually people don't take enough Remag and they're not saturated. And tryptophan has been recommended as a sleep aid. This amino acid tryptophan is high in turkey. Everybody knows you fall asleep after Turkey Day. But instead of getting a tryptophan tablet, which, I mean, usually they're synthetic sources, just use Restructure. Take a dose or serving of Restructure before bed, and the amino acids in there, the carbohydrate, fat, and amino acids will help you if you want the amino acids to help your neurotransmitters. They will help you to sleep. Now, I'm not saying that Restructure during the day is going to help you sleep. It's just at the sleep time, your melatonin is kicking in. You're tired. You're ready to come to dreamland, and a little bit of protein, a little bit of carbohydrate, a little bit of fat is going to help you. The herbs for sleep are hops, valerian, and skullcap. They work together. You can usually find them in a combination capsule. I recommend organic. I'm really concerned about the herb trade because it's so popular now that there are a lot of nefarious activities around accessing raw herbs. You really don't know what you're getting. But if you go for organic, hopefully it's a more reputable company and it's not contaminated. In terms of sleep advice, I went through this in my Completement Now online health program, my 2 years of 104 modules. I have 10 that cover sleep. I'm not saying you have to get these modules, but even the titles will help you see where you may be having problems with sleep because you're not following these recommendations. For example, sleeping without electricity. If you're in your room with your cell phone beside you, or if you've got your computer in there, if you're reading your Kindle and don't turn off the Wi-Fi, if you've got a TV in there, if a TV is on in the wall behind you in the next room, all this extra electrical activity around your sleeping brain is going to stir things up. Or it can. It may not do in everybody, but a lot of people find if they shut everything off or even shut off the breaker in your bedroom, that can help your sleep. Certainly maximizing magnesium, one of the modules, is what we're most focused on. Body temperature and sleep, it's good to sleep in a cool room. Windows open, lots of covers, even a head cover if it's really cold. But a low temperature for sleeping. But you have to figure out what that temperature is for you. Mine is 78, which for some people is too warm. We talked about melatonin. That was the next module. The next one is early to bed, early to rise. I find it easy here in Hawaii because our nighttime is, what is it, around 8 or so, and I'm up at 5 before sunrise. And I find sort of mimicking the daylight hours is very beneficial for me. Next one, don't eat or drink before bed. Certainly drinking too much liquids before bed will get you up to the bathroom. And eating before bed your metabolism is going, your stomach is churning, your intestines are moving, and so that activity can keep you awake, especially if you're eating carbohydrates or sugars that are stirring up intestinal flora and feeding them. You'll get gas and bloating. The keto, I think it's a keto rule about not eating after 7 or 8 p.m. I think is good to follow, so that you've got your digestion done before you lie down. Here's one. Mind dump your to-do list. So if you go to bed and you're thinking about tomorrow and what you're going to do, and you're listing off, oh, I got to do this, do that, phone this or that, it's going to keep your mind in sort of a gramophone scenario going round and round and round, so you don't forget anything. Well, what you do is just it only takes a minute, and so for a minute before you go to bed, just piece of paper, pencil, just write out what you're going to do the next day. So it's dumped onto the page. It's not in your mind anymore. The next two modules were about choosing a good mattress, and that you have to figure out what's good for you. Most people prefer a firm mattress. With pillows, same thing. Choose one that suits you. I really think the pillows that have a ridge that molds to your neck are helpful. I use them at home, and when I travel, I'll bunch up my pillows so that it creates like a roll under my neck, and I find that the most comfortable. My last module, earthing and grounding, it's basically people are saying walk outdoors in your bare feet, the tree hugging scenario where you're in nature, and that grounding is helpful. There are people who have grounding and earthing products that you can use on your bed. I've certainly tried them out. I can't say that they're remarkable. So that's the tips, and that's the blog. And I'll ask Ginny now. What have I left out, Ginny?
I think that's really good. I think everything's all been included. And just to emphasize, like, let's say you're using Remag lotion and Remag liquid, and how would you use the lotion at night?
Yeah, good point. The lotion, 1 teaspoon is 200 milligrams of Remag, so you're getting a good amount there. People will tell us that, especially if they have restless legs at night, that they'll slather their both legs, from toes up to the top of their thighs with the Remag lotion, and it stops the restless legs and it helps them sleep. Now, it may take a few nights for this to happen. We're not talking about Remag liquid, Remag lotion as being a sleep drug. What you're doing is replacing the magnesium that you've become deficient in over the decades. And as you replace magnesium, it's going to help everything in your body work more smoothly, including getting your muscles to relax and getting you into deeper sleep. And Remag lotion at night is probably preferable than drinking a few ounces of water with the Remag liquid if you're worried about getting up at night and going to the bathroom. So yeah, Remag lotion at night.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, live with Dr. Carolyn Dean here on AchieveRadio.com. 602-666-6027 is the number that we're going to be taking phone calls this evening. And, of course, we love talking to all of our callers and our listeners. We learn so much from our customers and our listeners, don't we, Carolyn?
Absolutely. And I just want to say I think I answered our questions. We had a few mailbag questions, but I'm pretty sure I answered them as I went along. People wondering how much to take before bed if I take a dose in the morning. Well, we want people to take it throughout the night and maybe a little extra at night. the best magnesium for insomnia is Remag, and someone who's only taking a teaspoon and a half a day, then of course they would increase it. So yeah, we've answered our mailbag. So let's go to chat and the phones. Exciting.
Okay, excellent, wonderful, and let's go out to area code 352, the great state of Florida. You're on the line with Dr. Dean. If you could give us your name and then state your question or comment.
Hi, this is Rhea, and I have two things. One comment, the easy comment is I have a really hard time. I have my phone turned up with the speaker on to the loudest it'll go, and I still have a really hard time trying to hear Dr. Dean. Now, I can hear you fine, Jenny, but Dr. Dean sometimes fades away, and the voice isn't as easy to understand because it's not loud enough. That's my comment. But my question is, I had called last week and asked about the Prescript Assist and was told that you weren't recommending it anymore, so I sent back my unopened bottle. But and then you had recommended, I think I heard you say that Zach Bush was the...
We're recommending his Restore at this point. But, yes, he just changed the name of it, didn't he?
He did. It's Ion Biome, I think.
Yeah, Carolyn, you've gotten actually quieter since Rhea said that. You got very quiet all of a sudden.
I'm sorry. I'm not being mean. It's just I just want to hear every word, and if I have to hold the phone, I don't like putting the cell phone to my ear. I really don't like to do that. But anyway, whatever. I spoke to customer service today at Restore at the new name, Ion. She said they have never had a probiotic. There's no probiotic in the Restore, and she was very...
Yeah, Jenny, how do we get around that? I mean, it's a gut
well,
it's a gut
in
product.
this. Yeah, and Rhea, that is absolutely true. It's not a probiotic, and when we recommend it through customer service, we go through a little more detail, but Dr. Zach Bush is actually much against probiotics. He's not into creating a monoculture. And what you'll find is if you get a single strain of a, lactobacillus or whatever, and then they've got billions and billions of CFUs in it. And what he basically says is if you get into a monoculture, that's actually where you do get into imbalances in the gut. And what he recommends and what he studied is that when you feed the bacteria in the gut the nutrients that they need, it gives them the greatest opportunity to thrive. And so he's using a humic fulvic, a lignite, which is basically a mineral food base, to feed the gut that you have. And so that's what his principle is, and Carolyn absolutely agrees with that because Prescript Assist, which is the soil-based probiotic that we used to recommend before there was all kinds of mishigas with that we didn't even want to get into, is a soil-based probiotic. And basically what we're saying is eat dirt. And that's what Zach Bush is saying, eat dirt. And we're just making a nice pill form of dirt. But it's basically the humic fulvic is the same kind of substance that is in the dirt. It's minerals and it's energy from that same basis, and it feeds your gut. It doesn't create a monoculture. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes, that does. So I should get some Restore or the new name, whatever the new name is.
Well, actually, it's so funny because I don't think Carolyn can say this, but I'll say it. They totally copied our name. I mean, it's called Ion Biome. I mean, it's funny because all of our products are based on ionic principles, and of course, flattery is the best compliment or something like that, right, Carolyn? Imitation.
Imitation is the highest form of flattery.
Right. Yeah.
Quite funny. Okay, Rhea, I will speak up. I think
this is Carolyn.
A bit. Yeah.
This is much better.
Okay, so you're good for now then?
Yes, I am. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for your call, Rhea. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, Carolyn, that was kind of an interesting thing, but you want to talk a little bit about the Flora Revive, too?
Well, we'll wait. Flora Revive's going to be another month or two, so we'll talk about it when it comes out. I mean, we've been, teasing our people for so long about it, and let's wait on it, okay?
All right, sounds good. All right, 602-666-6027 is the phone number. I see all kinds of new names and faces on our phone lines. Thank you for calling in. And what I always think is you probably want to talk to Carolyn. And then what I think is I don't see any raised hands. So you've got to hit *5 on your keypad. *5 is what raises your hand and lets me know that you have a question or comment. And then I take your phone off of mute, and I'll put you on with Carolyn. Otherwise, your phone remains on mute, and we can't chitty-chat, which is what we're all here to do. So very good. I see a raise of hands. Let's go to area code 419. 419, you're on the line with Dr. Dean this evening. Hello, hello.
Hello. This is
yes,
Martha.
Wonderful. If you could give us your name and then state your question or comment. Thank you.
My name is Martha, and I'm from Ohio, and I called last week, but we got cut off at the end, so I just wanted to finish with Dr. Dean about my question as far as being too sensitive right now. It seems like to use the Remag, but I want to get magnesium into me. Have been bedridden with Lyme and Epstein-Barr and several other viruses and illnesses. And I don't know if she remembers talking to me last week.
I have it all here, yes. What you ended up before we finished the show, Martha, was saying how much you love Restructure. And
yes,
what's great about Restructure is we do have our RNA reset powder in the Restructure. So that's going to very gently help build you up, help build up new cells. If you saw the radish experiment that we did with the RNA reset byproduct, the barley mash we call it, you know that Restructure with the RNA reset powder in it has eye cells in it, which are going to be responsible for helping get your DNA back on track to make perfect cells. So you're in a good position to be building your body, building your cells, and slowly but surely be able to take more of the products. I'm so glad you phoned in because I wanted to sort of reinforce that, well, I would say that I can say the worst is over. I know you may not feel that, but I really think you're on the right track.
Okay, yeah, because it seems like I've developed like histamine issues, and my limbic system's really hypervigilant to everything.
Right.
So I just wanted to see if you had any other advice for that, or if what I'm doing, should I be drinking the powder more than once a day? And I know you had suggested the other day maybe trying a mag sauce right now just to try to start getting in my system, and so I just wanted to follow up and see what your advice was.
Right. We didn't get a chance. The magnesium is a very good antihistamine, so that's where, yes, eventually when you can take the Remag, that's going to be helpful. Yes, since the Restructure is working for you, I would take more. And, the homeopathics, they can be kind of a gateway into getting your body not being so hypervigilant. But, it's a slow process, but I guess...
Yeah, I've been drinking the protein powder for about probably over 2 months now. And I seem to do fine with that, so I've been hoping that inside it's building me back up, even though I don't feel it or see it,
Right. Oh, yes.
So
and
do you think I'd be too sensitive for the Remag, lotion, too, then?
I don't know. A lot of people find that they can take the lotion. See, I guess some people would say it's kind of psychological that anything that comes at your mouth, your body is going to kind of be against it. It's going to think, oh, the last time I put something in my mouth, I had a reaction. So I don't want to put anything more in my mouth. So anything that comes toward my mouth, I'm going to shut down. So there's that aspect of hypervigilance where if you would take the Remag liquid itself and put it in a spray bottle, or just take a dropper and put a few drops on your skin and rub that's not going to be as much a quote attack on your immune system, the way you're being hypervigilant if you do it transdermally. So just taking all that into account, I would start with the Remag liquid because I think you have that on hand, right?
Yes, I do. I have the Remag and the Remite.
I know last time I talked about putting a drop in water and drinking that, and you'd already sort of tried that sort of thing. But just try to drop on the skin and see if you can get your body to love it. Just say, look, body, you need this.
Right.
We're going to do it. It's not going to be a problem. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm trying to help. So just give it a little talking to. Okay.
And the Remite, can you do that on your skin as well?
You can. Yeah, people definitely have done that and told us it absorbs well because the minerals in the products are stabilized ions. Those ions just go right into the cells.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for taking my call again. Appreciate it.
No problem, Martha. I think your voice do you think your voice sounds stronger today, or are you just in a...
Well, it's you put on a good, you get into your, what do they call that? Your adrenaline mode.
Right, yeah.
So right now I'm suffering with a bad migraine and nerve pain, but I'm hopeful, so that's what makes me sound good, because I'm very hopeful,
Right. Yeah, well, take that drop of Remag liquid and rub it into your temples and just say,
body be healed.
Body be healed. Good. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, Martha, we'll hear from you again. Keep letting us know how you're doing.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, hon. Bye-bye. There's Jenny. Uh-oh.
Hello, area code 727. 727, you're on the line with Dr. Dean. If you could give us your name and then state your question or comment.
My name is Carol, and I am calling you to find out if let me just start at the beginning. I went to the doctor, and I found out that a blood test that I had a year and a half ago, she told me the kidney number was 59, and the doctor said that meant only 59% of my kidneys were working, which actually has me very worried. Is there anything I can do to get this number up to 100, what can I do? I'm also very itchy, and that's also a sign of problems. Is there anything I can take to help myself?
Sure. But first, Carol, do you mind me asking how old are you?
I am 81.
Okay, well, 59 for age 81 is perfectly normal.
It is?
Yeah, Listen to this. What is the normal GFR? What the kidney number is called the glomerular filtration rate. The tubules in the kidneys filter urine, and the rate they do it is measurable. And here's what they say about the normal GFR. In adults, the normal GFR number is 90. Having a GFR between 60 and 89 may be normal for some people, including those over age 60. GFR tends to decline as we age, even in people without kidney disease. these people may need to have GFR checked more often in the future. So, it could be perfectly normal, but then, you've been given medical PTSD, being fearful of your kidneys.
You're so right.
So what I would say, yes, you can even improve that because with the right building blocks, which is what we work with in our products, the minerals of magnesium, the 12 minerals in Remite, the B vitamins, and a couple of amino acids in Realign, they all work toward the structure and function of all the cells in the body. We don't isolate any one organ and say, well, take these 5 things for your kidneys. No. We just say, our Total Body Reset has five products, but just take these 5 things for head to toe, balancing the structure and function of your body. We can give you information about, specifically about the kidney, but it's the whole body that we want to support.
Exactly. And what about this itching? Like, it's very, very annoying. In different parts of my body, my shoulder will itch, then my arm will itch. What does that mean?
Is your skin dry?
No.
Okay. Shoulder, arm. Okay. Have you heard of yeast overgrowth, Carol?
No. I haven't.
Have you had antibiotics in the past couple of years?
No, I haven't. I have not. I've been pretty healthy, or I thought I was, but this itching has been going on. I'm sorry, I don't mean.
How long is it going on?
It's been going on for about 2 months.
And is it on one side or both sides?
Well, it's all over. Sometimes it's on my left side, on my stomach, then it goes up to my shoulder, then it's on my left breast, my back, and and it's really quite uncomfortable.
Right. Yeah, we were just talking with Martha. She was talking about histamines, so that's a possibility, but it's also possible that there's yeast overgrowth. It's an organism in the intestines that can get out of control if you eat too much sugar or if you have antibiotics, and it causes toxins. There's a number of reasons. It could be, kind of a low-grade infection that's releasing toxins. Are you on any of our products yet, Carol?
I said for the
Remag?
The magnesium that you take, you start out with like 1 or 2 drops.
Oh, the RNA reset drops.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Right. I didn't take them yet. A good friend recommended I talk to you.
Oh, okay. Well, the drops will help with the life force of the body, but for the itching, in case it's toxins or histamines or something, look at it this way, Carol. The skin is the largest organ of the whole body, and it helps sweat out toxins and things that you don't want inside. It's an organ of elimination. So I'm suggesting there's some sort of, I don't know you, but what I would wonder is if there's some sort of little toxicity that your body is trying to throw off on your skin. And I would say magnesium, our Remag would help, but while you're waiting for that to come, get some Epsom salts in the drugstore and put 2 cups of Epsom salt in a bath. Are you okay with taking baths?
Very okay.
Okay, great. 2 cups in a bath, and what that will do is it'll pull toxins out through the pores, it'll hydrate your skin, it'll smooth your skin, and I think that would really help all aspects of what this body itching could be.
Okay. Sounds good. I'm so glad to talk to you. I've heard such good things about you. So I will get the reset and the Epsom salt, and we'll be good to go.
Okay, and yes, go ahead and call or email customer service if you have any questions at all. The email is support@rnareset.com.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you for calling in. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
All righty. Wonderful callers this evening, Carolyn, full of such good questions, and you're able to share such great information.
Right. Look at Carol being told that we didn't really go into, the details of that, and Carol's probably still listening, but to be told at age 81 that your kidneys are dwindling when it is a normal value. And then you can do something about it because the RNA drops are going to help build the more perfect cells. The Remag is going to help. If Carol gets the total body reset, then she'll be in great shape and get her kidneys back. Not that they went anywhere.
Right. Yeah. We have so many. It's just the misdiagnosis is just incredible. Or just like you say, the fear. I mean, this is the reason why people can't sleep at night. They have that ridiculous crud blasting in their house with that stupid television and all those disease-based commercials, making people think that at any minute something's going to fall off, drop off, quit working. I mean, they're just terrorized by the constant threat that something is going to go wrong with their body. I think is the worst thing that people have to live in the fear of, and probably nothing could be further from the truth. Like you've said a million times, the diagnosis is 9,000 times worse than the disease.
Right, and the reason that they're being bombarded with these commercials is to sell drugs. So they're not trying to help you be healthy or avoid the disease. They just want to sell that drug to you, and they don't care if it makes you feel sicker. In fact, they probably have that planned into the equation because then you'll go out and get an anti-anxiety drug or a sleeping pill, and you'll help their profit margin. It is insidious. So yes, I'm so glad Carol called in because right away, kidney number 59, that's normal for her age group. Heaven forbid.
Right. It's just shocking. They finally did the Purdue Pharma, the makers of OxyContin, are finally having to file for bankruptcy protection, and they're still trying to shut them down, and billions and billions of dollars, and it just turns into a big jibber jabber. I mean, I don't know. It's really discouraging some days, unless we knew that we had each other, and that is why it's so important to cling ever so fiercely to your radio right now and your bottle of Remag, and just know that your health can be protected through nutrients. Right, Carolyn?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, and it is pretty frustrating because I think there's a new blog coming out. I've blogged so much about supplements and the anti-supplement lobby, and maybe it's already been posted. But look at some of my blogs. Actually, do we have a lineup of callers, Jenny?
No, good. Let's do some blogs. That's wonderful, yes.
Right, because I'm always finding reasons to write about supplements. Now, I don't believe in synthetic supplements, but I can't stand the fact that there are so many attacks on supplements. The latest one actually came out yesterday. It's called Supplement Deniers, and my blogs are drcarolyndean.com. And this one, supplement deniers. And I say I've written many blogs about the supplement deniers and given an excerpt of one and how there are no fatalities from supplements. Yet all you hear in these anti-supplement articles are how dangerous they can be or how much a waste of money they are. And this study and that study says, well, they don't cure heart disease. Well, for Pete's sakes, supplements are not drugs. Supplements are not supposed to cure anything. So it's like they're saying, well, they're not curing anything, so they're bad. There's absolutely no common sense. Part of the blog, I say that the authors draw their conclusions from reviews that define who needs supplements, hoping to show that they aren't meant for everyone. But I'll beat them at their own game. I'll give you their list and the actual population beside it. So the people who may need supplements, they say, are growing children. Okay, that's 24% of the population. People with chronic disease. Okay, that's 45% of the population has at least one chronic condition. People on medication. Well, that's 55% of the population is on regular medication. Malabsorption. 65% of the population has a reduced ability to digest lactose after infancy. Celiac disease has an incidence of 1%. Non-celiac gluten sensitivity can be as high as 13%. Pregnancy and lactation, they need supplements. That's 4% of the female population is pregnant and lactating at any one time. People who are aging need supplements. That's 33% of the population over 50. What's the total percentage of people who, according to the author's criteria, may require dietary supplements? 175%. So they don't even think through any of the words they're saying. They're just so keen on demeaning dietary supplements. That's another blog that I quote. So you have to read what I'm saying here to really get the underlying, is it a conspiracy against supplements? More bad news about dietary supplements assumes that we already know that dietary supplements are bad news and buries the coffin a little deeper. Why do I keep harping about the attacks on dietary supplements? It's because nutrients represent the last bastion of defense that vulnerable medical patients can turn to when drugs and doctors let them down. Allopathic medicine is doing its darndest to keep patients away from supplements. A Medscape article, Supplements and Cardiovascular Disease, Why Negative Data Don't Dampen Sales, shows exactly what I mean. So they're saying
that's true.
They'll put out an article or even a study that says, well, supplements don't help the heart disease, but people still keep using them. You know, how are we going to be able to stop this offense against the drug industry? So I go on. The article leads with the erroneous conclusion that vitamins and supplements do not prevent heart disease. They crow about the resounding lack of benefit and that negative data abound, all the while ignoring the fact that nutrients can't be studied one at a time. They all work together. The studies they cite report on the use of synthetic vitamins and poorly absorbed minerals, and they don't even bother to look at all the positive studies about magnesium. Now, yes, this has really got up Ginny and my craw, and what we're going to do about it, because we always do something about things. We're going to be
okay. Now wait. What we're going to do about it? But we only have a minute.
Well,
so we'll have to say what we're going to do about it in the next hour, and we're going to do a lot.
Let's do that. We're going to do a lot. Okay, Ginny, off we go.
All right, so a quick break, grab some more refreshment, take a nice stretch, and we'll be back in 43 seconds with the second hour of Live with Dr. Carolyn Dean here on achieveRadio.com.
We'll be back with Hour 2 of Live with Dr. Carolyn Dean, along with host Ginny Gunther, after this brief station break. You can also get updates and resources online by visiting drcarolyndean.com.
Psychic radio, holistic radio, spiritual radio. This is AchieveRadio.com. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/AchieveRadio.
What city plays?
The old categories. They don't apply anymore. And we're just superhuman, discarnate things right now.
What city plays?
We're well beyond the categories for men and women right now. And we're just superhuman, discarnate things right now. Bring back the body. Give me body, body. Bring back the body. Give me body, body. I do advocate immediate fast to bring back the body. Give me body, body. Bring back the body. Give me body, body.
AchieveRadio.com.
Here we go now. Go to the Carolyn. Here we go now. Here we go now. The wellness scene with Dr. D. Here we go now. Here we go now. Go to the Carolyn. The wellness with Dr. D.
Welcome back, everybody, live with Dr. Carolyn Dean here on AchieveRadio.com, Hour 2, with our lovely Dr. Carolyn Dean. And, yes, I see your hands waving. We've got callers on the line waiting to talk to Dr. Dean, and we've got, to conclude our important segment from the last hour, Carolyn, let's talk about what we're going to do, and then we'll put some callers on the phone and talk about some chat line questions.
Okay, now this is slightly premature. This is definitely going to happen in the next couple of months. I've always said that the only way to really know that something is helping a person is to personally follow your own statistics. Your N equals 1. N is the number of people in an experiment. I have also often said that we have to stop putting all these billions of dollars into research on drugs. Of course, the drug companies put the money in so they can make the profit on their drugs. But even clinical research, it's just going to study one nutrient at a time, and then they come up with erroneous conclusions that are usually driven by big pharma. And we've been approached by a group that is doing in-home blood testing and using extensive questionnaires to follow people's supplement intake and their symptoms, doing one test to start with and then the second blood testing in 6 months. The blood is just finger prick, and you put the drop of blood on a cardboard circle. So it's an in-home test, in-home questionnaire. And Ginny and I are getting involved because we want to do research. We're working with the university now, and that's taking kind of like forever, and we're at the very basic sort of lower rung of the research that we intend to do there. But we want to get clinical, and that means we'll be asking our customers to get involved with us in doing this testing, reporting what they're taking of our supplements, and seeing, it's not necessarily a before and after, but seeing these two measures and then drawing conclusions or being able to write papers and put out information about what exactly are the results of our using our products. I mean, just the questionnaire alone will be so important, as we see from our magnesium deficiency assessment. We've got, as I said, about 1,000 people filled out, boom, 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 6 questions, yes, no, and we find out, oh my gosh, 65% of our new customers are coming to us with insomnia. Okay, so we have a radio show about insomnia. We focus on these folks. So it's very dynamic what we're going to do, very clinically oriented, and not this scientific, throw everything else under the bus and test one thing at a time. Ginny, what would you say to fluff out that information?
I think it's perfect. No, we are gonna work with the whole being, and we're gonna work with the formulas, and we are gonna work with our customers, and we're going to let them be the judge biologically and use their own internal assets to prove that to themselves and to others, because that way you're going to get clear testing. It's not going to be motivated by a pharmaceutical company. And the reports are not going to be interpreted by, like this poor gal in the first hour who was told, here she's got a perfectly good kidney score, and she's terrified that she's about ready to have her life fail her. I mean, it's awful.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We'll keep you posted. We'll have a person from this group, this company, come on the show and discuss it in a month or so, and we're just very excited about being able to do this, about being able to show people at a blood level how they're doing. And I know I'm not keen on blood tests, but these are blood tests that we can, quote, control. We will be involved in the process, and that's what's important. I mean, that's why I had to create these products myself, so that Ginny and I could be involved in the process. And that's what's important these days, is someone in charge who's doing the right thing. And that's my buddy here, Ginny.
Well, the thing of it is that also, let's just say it's the blood test that you prefer. You don't like serum blood testing. You do like the RBC blood testing. And also, for our good friends in Canada, you will be able to get an RBC test through this kit. So that's exciting news for you guys, because I know you can't get them up there the way that Dr. Dean recommends. So there's some assets, definitely. It's going to be fun for everyone, and we're going to support it and do all kinds of fun things. So we're still working out the details, but it is going to launch mid-October. We will have this gal on the show. We're going to go over everything with everybody. We'll have a special place in our website devoted to everything. We'll have all kinds of bells and whistles and fun things about it, and it'll go on, extensively through our customer base. And we just have such great customers. I mean, that's another reason why we wanted to, because our customers are 100% our partners. They share everything with us, and they know we have their backs, and we're in it to win it with them. and we are just going to have a great time with it. So look forward to this and look forward to these things coming. It's going to be great. And also next week, speaking of what's coming up, I just want to mention that our very, very good super cutie Lorraine Andrus is going to be on from truehealthcanada.ca. She does live blood microscopy. She is a Dr. D'Amato blood type, blood type diet specialist, which is, something Carolyn loves. She's been working with our products and our customers for a year. She's got super Scooby insights, and you'll be able to call and chitty-chat with her, and it's just going to be a blast. Right, Carolyn?
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We'll be doing our outs and abouts. We will be talking Canadian.
Yes, you will. It's hilarious. It's going to be all red and white, and the Canadian flag will be flowing next week, but it's going to be fun, and I can't wait to have her on. She is a peach, just a super cutie, sweetest heart, loves Carolyn. I mean, loves Carolyn, and, is just making some cool changes in her clinic because of Carolyn's influence on her work, and we're just going to have a great time next week. So you guys write that down. And also share it with a good friend. Have some girlfriends over and grab some Remag and pour out some glasses, and we'll all have a big party together.
Yes, and that, I don't know how much we'll talk about it until we have it in hand, but we are following through. We found a good consultant to help us navigate the dangerous waters of getting our products into Canada. So, yes, we're definitely on top of that and doing that for you so that people can avoid the ridiculous customs and surcharges and turning them back at the border crap that they've been suffering. So we're working on that as well.
Yeah, we're making a lot of improvements to our international for our international customers across the board. Lots of good things. We're doing so much stuff for you guys you do not even know. I mean, we just sit around all day thinking about how we can improve your experience, and we really, really are, and we really, really do. So we're very, very happy with what's going on, and lots of good things coming down the pike. That's why you have to stay tuned to the radio show. You've got to stay on top of your emails and keep your eyes peeled for all the new super cool and groovy stuff. Okay, let's take some phone calls, Carolyn. Area code 304. You're on the line with Dr. Carolyn Dean. If you could give us your name and then state your question or comment.
Hello, it's Lisa from West Virginia.
Hi, Lisa. Go ahead.
Okay, I have a comment, and then I have a question based on the comment. So I can sleep approximately 2 hours at a time, and then I wake up just wide awake. And so I know I'm low on my magnesium. So I take a sip of my Remag salted Remite water, and then I'm fast asleep. So again, it's like every hour and a half, 2 hours. I still am very magnesium deficient. I called in February on your show, and I was could only take a few drops at that time. Since then, I've worked my way up to 4.5 teaspoons. Yay.
Wow.
And I'm still very, very deficient, and I know that. And, I'm just riding out this big wave.
Right.
At that time, it's kind of strange to me, but yet I think it's normal. I was sleeping through the night better than what I am now. And now I'm able to take more Remag. So, again, that's just part of this whole process, and I'm willing to deal with it.
Right.
So last Thursday, I slept very, very well. I slept for about 4.5 hours without waking up. But, of course, I woke up with dry eyes, tight muscles. I knew that I slept through my time to take my Remag. About an hour after I was awake, I experienced a very scary thing. Now, this is probably about the 5th time that this has happened since June of this year. And what it was is I have visual disturbances, not just the blurry vision, not just I can't see very well. I explain it as like a stained glass window effect, like when you look through a stained glass and you can see, but there's like lines and strips, and it's just very strange.
Right.
So, the first 4 or 5 times this happened to me since June, I panicked, didn't really know what was happening, and I just rode out that wave. So this time, after sleeping for 4.5 straight hours, I knew definitely it was a magnesium deficient problem.
Right.
So after I had taken my drink, it was about 35 to 40 minutes that I regained my vision. So my daughter is in optometry school. She's just started her second year of optometry school out of state, and so I just mentioned it to her this morning. And, of course,
and she told
panicked.
you it was an ocular migraine.
Oh, no, she didn't say that. She was like, she just panicked. And, of course, I said, it's fine. Of course, she didn't panic 2 years ago, or she wouldn't have, or last year. Now that she is, learning all of this and about the cornea, and it could be this, that, she's saying words that I just don't understand and I don't get. But I said, it's all right. I know it's a magnesium deficiency problem. And, of course, even though she takes your products and has for several years, she's still not believing me. So I go and I research. I see a blog of yours from July of 2014 about keratoconus and magnesium deficiency. So it said it could affect the mechanisms of the cornea. So I just want to know from you if this is truly what you think is going on, and or point me to more literature that I could send my daughter and say, see, this is it.
It's an eyeball migraine.
Okay.
That's all it is. And they call it ocular, AOCULAR migraine. It's because it goes away so quickly, and the zigzags and the visual disturbance are, you can look it up. It's all, you can find that. Visual loss, blind spots, zigzag lines, or seeing stars. And it does not have to have pain involved, so it doesn't clue people into the fact it can be a migraine. And you probably read that migraines are very treatable with magnesium. And it's, I guess the way you were saying it, how some symptoms come, other symptoms go, and it's like you did kind of allude to, Lisa, you're working through your saturation. You're opening up the 1,000 pathways in your body, so some areas just haven't been opened up. So since June, you've been working on your eyes, and the thing is, if you look up ocular migraine and really intellectually understand it, it'll help the anything that's fear-based. But as you said, the one on Thursday, you realize for sure, okay, it's a magnesium deficiency. Unfortunately, you talk to your daughter, and she's in fear-based school where all they teach these poor kids in any sort of health school is the worst possible scenarios. The worst of the worst. So they panic. Everybody in my med class was coming down with medical student diseases because we'd study something and everybody would just get all scared that they had those problems. So anyway, that's what I think it is. What does that help?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'll do my investigation and my research, and I'll send this information to her. I do have one other comment, and I'd like to see what you have to say. Well, I know what you're going to say, and this may help Martha, the caller that called in earlier. So I've been struggling with Remag to get it in my system without getting sick, having diarrhea, all the above, and I've not given up. And I know I've explained that to you before. It's just been a several-year process. So 4 or 5 years ago when I was, I had started with Remag, and it made me sick, I realized I couldn't take it, but yet I know I have a yeast overgrowth. So I started at that time with your yeast reset program. And I became very sick with that. Although it did help some, I took the shake, and I haven't done it in years, knowing that it really made me sick. So I've been thinking about it for months now, thinking, I think everyone knows and has a feeling of their body like, this is it. I'm strengthening my body. Yes, I have a way to go, but this is it. This is the time is now for me. So I started just 2 weeks ago. Of course, I've been on the diet for years. No sugar, no, gluten, all that. So I started the yeast shake, and I did reduce from your recommendations. I started with 3 grape seed extract, 1 oregano, half silver. I basically cut everything in half. And oh my, the results that I'm seeing. The brain fog is lifting. Saturday, I sprayed down my in-laws' house, power washed the house with help from 2 other people, 2 buildings. I mean, I was like the Energizer Bunny. So I have come to a conclusion that even with a lesser dose, I am responding better than what I was 4 years ago because I now have the magnesium in my body that's required for all of this to process correctly in my body. Do you agree?
Right. Absolutely. It's like the way I write about too toxic to detox. So now you're less toxic because the REMAG does push out toxins. It does open up the detox pathways and makes them work so that when you attempt a true yeast detox, then your body's going to be able to handle it. So, yeah, absolutely. And that is good information for Martha, especially when you said that. And I remember, Lisa, I'm just looking at the files here, you and Emily. And so it's Emily who's in optometry now?
Yes. Emily is now 23. When we first started, she was barely in high school.
Oh, and she was having all the cramps in her soccer and athletics. And
yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, give her my best. I know we started talking a long time ago. But anyway, the fact that, and I totally recall you starting on a couple of drops, and then over the years you were able to take more and more. And now just 2 weeks ago, you're able to do the yeast detox. And, yeah, sometimes, folks, that's what it takes. It's just determination. You stick with what intellectually you require, which is the magnesium, and you stay with the program, and it does pay off. There you go. Perfect.
Yes, and I know you talked about skin detoxification earlier, but I know everyone is different, but it was in the spring. I started getting the rash around the mouth, the yeast. I was detoxing, and of course it's gotten worse over the last 2 weeks. When can I expect this to subside?
Well, it's hard to say, but what I would do with the external stuff and rashes, and I know I didn't get a chance to talk to Carol about, her body itching. I didn't talk to her about Pico Silver, but I think Pico Silver, if you can put that in a spray bottle and spray, around your mouth and spray areas of yeast detox rashes, I think that'll help a great deal, because the body's trying to eliminate the rashes, but I think there's yeast organisms that are involved as well, and you can hit them externally on your skin with the Pico Silver spray.
Okay, last night I made a paste of the clay as I took my clay bath. But that's the first time I've done that ever. Of course, not the clay bath, but the paste on my face. So I'll keep that up as well.
Yes, and you may have heard me say that I'll make a paste with the Pico Silver drops. Instead of water, I'll put Pico Silver in the the clay, and that makes it a real. I'm not allowed to say antibiotic, but that's what it makes it.
Yeah, well, you don't have to say it. I know that. So there, you didn't say it.
No. Oh, this is great, and I'm so glad. Well, I'm glad to hear that Emily's out there doing her thing, but tell her not to worry about her mom's eyes.
Okay, I sure will.
Okay.
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 All righty. Well, thank you very much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's very precious. That is very, very sweet.
Oh,
very,
I know.
very sweet.
I mean, Emily, she was just in torture because she's this incredible sports gal, and she was in soccer. I think they had her kicking in football. She was such a great athlete. And she would just be beside herself with the pain of leg cramps after a game. But we got her got her hydrated, the sea salt, the Remag. She probably took Remite as well, and she got over it. And she had a sports injury, and I think that propelled her into optometry. Poor girl.
Very cute, very cute. Yes, my eye doctor is very, very into magnesium for the eyes. She believes everybody should be taking magnesium every day for your eyes. For your eyes.
Wow.
Yeah, she's really into it. She's really into it. Of course, she will be carrying Remag. Okay, let's see. Let's go to, and speaking of that, let me just also say, I just want to give a love shout out to our customers who are participating with us in recommending their doctors to Remag. We have started the program. It's called What If Your Doctor Knew About Remag. You may have been invited via email. You may not have received your invitation yet. The outreach is going very well. We've told people through the radio show, and just by telling people through the radio show, our customers have sent us their doctor's name and said, hey, please send some Remag to my doctor. But I'll tell you what, Carolyn, we have, again, our precious customers, and the doctors are into hearing about it. They're shocked. They're just like, oh, my God, this is the greatest stuff. And we've got little tiny sample bottles we're sending them with the big book that you wrote called The 65 Magnesium Conditions. It's got all the clinical references in it. It's got brochures and dosing guidelines about how they can use it so they can sample it with their patients. But, we just have to, I know sometimes we're a little harsh with doctors on the phone, on our show, but there are a lot of great doctors out there with great hearts. And we figured, well, since we have great customers, we know they would have good doctors with good hearts. And it's really working. So if you want us to send a sample of Remag along with Dr. Dean's clinical practitioner's kit to your doctor, dentist, veterinarian, healthcare practitioner, massage therapist, whoever, just email us at support, SUPPORT, at RNAreset.com. Let us know. We'll follow up, get the details from you, and shoot it off in your name. And the doctors have also been very grateful to the customers who've made those recommendations, which I think is also super precious too, don't you?
Oh, that's wonderful. Yes, when was it Jenny or Jackie? When somebody realized, look, there are 65 medical conditions that are really magnesium deficiency, and they're being mistreated with drugs, like we have to tell doctors about this. And when James DiNicolantonio says that magnesium deficiency is a public health crisis, we know that doctors they don't have time to read all the literature. So the team suggested, well, look, let's make a little, we made a little man. Our designer, Sheila Kern, made a little man, and we pointed out the 65 disease conditions and how every part of the body has this little arrow going to it saying this is a magnesium deficiency, and gives a name, neuritis or heart or muscles or whatever. And then I wrote a booklet, put the 65 conditions down, and in kind of in doctor speak, but not really, described what these conditions were and how they were being mistreated. And here's a couple of scientific medical references, for Pete's sakes. That's all that doctors require. If they can have in their file something that says, well, this is kind of scientifically proven. There are people who have done studies that show that atrial fibrillation can be alleviated with some magnesium. Okay, good. Well, I'll start giving magnesium. So it's evolved now to where I think it was Jackie who works with Ginny with the practitioners said that we've got to address these practitioners directly, and you, our customers, are helping. It's just wonderful. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's very, very sweet, very sweet. And I think the sweetest thing is when the doctor, there's a way. I know some people go storming into their doctor's office, waving all their internet research, and saying, I read on the internet that I have this. I think doctors get upset about that sometimes. But then, it's like, but hey, doctor, I think I found something good and I want you to know about it. That's a very sincere approach, and I think the doctors are very receptive to it. So we're having a good time with it, and thank you all for participating, and we'll keep you, abreast of how that goes too, because I think it's making a big difference. Okay, so anyway, back to our callers, and we do have questions on the chat. Let's take our caller that's been waiting a long time, and then we'll go to our chat. Let's go to area code 213. 213, you're on the line with Dr. Carolyn Dean. If you could give us your name and then state your question or comment.
Hello? Oi. Hello?
Yes, go ahead. Yes.
Hello? Oi.
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Can you hear us?
Oh,
hello?
Okay, 213. Yes, that's me. Yeah, wow, wonderful. Thank you. I didn't know how to. Anyway.
What's your first name?
My name is Zelda. I'm in Los Angeles. Hi.
Zelda, go ahead.
Yeah, I have two questions. If we can just do one, I'd be very happy. One is regarding digestion, and the other is regarding lymph. I think I want to deal with the lymph one. Okay, so I'm like 5 1/4 years out from cancer treatments, and I had several surgeries, had my colon removed, have an ileostomy, and I had 4,100 grays of radiation, had many, many lymph nodes removed, and the radiation was targeting the inguinal lymph and then some other lymph area in that lower abdominal region. So I'm just wondering, even 5 years out, if there's something that any strategies that I could be doing to improve my lymph flow. And I would say, I was sick my whole entire life with ulcerative colitis / Crohn's. Indeterminate is what they called it. So I probably had lymph issues, even prior to this. When I asked the doctors, they say they removed 40 lymph nodes, and thank God none of them were cancerous. But I said, well, don't I need some lymph nodes? Oh, don't worry, you have others, type of thing.
Okay, so you had colon cancer. How low was it?
I had rectal anal cancer, and I had ulcerative colitis / indeterminate if it was Crohn's, yeah.
And they took out your whole large intestine?
Yeah, it became a megacolon, and it would have exploded, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's better out than in, obviously.
Yeah, no, the ileostomy is working great. It's absolutely working great. I think it's fantastic, and, it's obviously a lifesaver.
Yes, yeah, and you do sound, good. You're, you're making it work. What I would do...
Yeah.
Yep. What I would do is to work on the lymph. And you may be doing this already. Things like castor oil packs, and maybe not even a pack, but just getting castor oil and kind of massaging the inguinal area and up through the abdomen. I would be taking clay baths.
Oh, clay
I would be to move just to help move things. Castor oil. That your Casey talked about that. How it just seems to be associated with proper lymph function. I would do Pico Silver as well. I take it orally. I would even spray the inguinal area because sometimes that area can harbor a little subclinical infections that can be affecting. And what else would I do? So it's castor oil, clay baths, pico silver, and what's going on there? Have you heard me talking about total biology, about the conflict basis of disease? Maybe to talk with our total biology consultant to figure out why the rectal anal cancer. What were you trying to either get rid of or hold on to that turned itself into extra cell growth?
Well, for a long time they said I had, what was it called? Squamous cell, blah, blah, blah. I forget how they put it, but it was like dysplasia. Okay, it's just slightly off. And then they said, no, you don't have that. We call it something different. Now we call it AIN. So I looked at the doctor and I said, you're telling me I don't have cancer? And he said, that's right, but this is still dangerous and it could turn into cancer. I said, see you later. But eventually it did become a tumor. And you know, there was another doctor who said, look, what you have is on the surface of the colon, rectum, anal area, and you have time to try to figure it out. Well, I tried to figure it out and had, you know, some years were very successful, other years less so. And, you know, and then basically had a lot of issues and relationship issues maybe like a year or two prior, and things changed, and I said, oh, this isn't colitis anymore. This is different. You know, and by the time I started to deal with it, it was already, you know, quite advanced.
Right. And the irritation from the colitis and Crohn's would set up a pattern, too.
Right.
Okay, so, and then you probably...
So this total body, no, I don't really know anything about that. That's kind of looking at the mental and emotional underpinnings.
Well, it doesn't even come across as psychology or psychiatry. It's the conflict. Everybody has conflicts. And some people hold them in. And the body creates physical symptoms to try to help it's
your
like
body is talking to you, but you don't know how the language it's speaking.
Right. So it's like a release valve to create these extra cells to solve a problem. I mean, it's a little bit convoluted, but it's quite fascinating.
Yeah, no, I'm getting it. That sounds very fascinating.
Right. Okay. Like with, here's some notes, because I did courses. I don't consult in it because I'm not that adept, but we do refer to someone who's awesome. But, for example, constipation, inability to reject something. I hold on to it, and I hold on to it so much that I can develop rectal cancer. Now, you didn't have constipation. You had the diarrhea aspect.
No, I had constipation and diarrhea, and it depended when. Yeah. Oh. No, I did have. It probably started in childhood as constipation, and the ability to reject something, because as a child you can't do that. You know, with your parents, you can try, but you know you might get shot down, and you might get really
So I hold on to it so much that I can develop rectal cancer, and that just on the physical level, that can happen. And what else do I have?
Very interesting. Yeah, no, I mean it sounds sort of like Louise Hay, and some of her a little bit like that.
Yes. That's exactly right. We say it's Louise Hay on steroids.
Got it. Yes. Wow, very cool. Okay.
And it's fascinating because if your lymph does want to grow back, the fourth thing I would say is RNA reset drops. Because
what's it called? RNA reset. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the one that's the barley?
That's right.
And so what about that? Because I've been gluten-free for many years. I was a little bit I don't know.
Well, yeah, I know. We've had about a little more than 150 generations. And 99% of the time it tests gluten-free. But once or twice, somehow we'll get gluten there. And because of that, we have to say that there's a potential for gluten. And most of the people who tried, who say, yeah, I'm kind of gluten sensitive, the drops are fine. I mean, it's only 10, 15 drops once or twice a day. But what the RNA reset drops do is they help program your DNA to make better copies of your cells.
Oh, well,
and
that's certainly cool.
Yeah, what I want to happen is with the Pico Silver, it helps stimulate stem cell.
The Pico Silver, did you say? Because I'm not hearing.
Pico Silver.
Okay, stem cell stimulation. Okay.
Yeah. And what you need is stem cells then to transform themselves into lymph cells. And the RNA drops will help to create these perfect lymph cells. What you can look at about the Pico Silvers on our book website, book and radio show website, drcarolyndeanlive.com. There's a booklet about Pico Silver.
Oh, okay.
I've written one, and I have a silver report. The silver report is kind of a bit complex, so I tried to dumb it down.
Okay.
And for the RNA reset drops, go to YouTube and type in RNA reset drops webinar.
Okay.
At minute 18, I talk about how we take the barley straw that's left over from squishing out the drops, and we use that straw as a soil amendment. We call it Mighty Mash. And I did 2 experiments, one with the Mighty Mash and one without. We grew radishes. And after 25 days, we harvested the radishes. In the RNA Mighty Mash, we got 85 pounds of beautiful radishes. In the non-RNA mash plot, we got 3 pounds.
Wow.
And the reason was that the soil with the Mighty Mash was so alive, so healthy, so energized that predators just didn't bother with it. The predators ran over to the one without the mash, and the worms ate all the radishes and the leaves, the bacteria,
Yeah, that would be one of my questions, that does it feed the bad guys as well as the good guys?
No. It. I mean, the body knows what's good and what's bad, so it directs the play. The same with the Pico Silver, because it's like a natural antibiotic, although I'm not allowed to say that.
Silver is...
The studies in Pico Silver show that it just affects the bad bacteria, and thank goodness they have that research. So that's what I would say. We can send you through support at rnareset.com or FAQ on total biology, the books and some of the websites that you can look at. I mean, you already have a grasp of what we're talking about, so that's great.
So let me just review here. Castor oil, massage and abdominal packs or something, clay baths, and now what do you mean, like white clay, gray? What kind of clay?
Well, I've been recommending magnetic clay. I haven't been able to find anything as good as that. I know we've tried magnetic clay at Enviromedica.
Okay.
Enviromedica. And I use it. I'll just put like a half a cup. I'll spin it up in a blender and pour that into the water. Don't just throw clump clay in the bath.
Right, okay. What about like as a foot soak instead of a bath? Would that be okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, or foot, yeah, because... All right, anyway. Pico Silver, to spray it topically, and how much orally?
I'd say I personally would take 2 teaspoons.
2 teaspoons? Wow, that sounds a lot per day.
Yeah, you can take anywhere from a half teaspoon to 6 teaspoons a day.
Okay.
What you would do with the 2 teaspoons is probably do for 2 weeks and see how you feel, and then you might just need a maintenance of a half to 1 teaspoon a day.
Okay. And then you were saying the RNA drops, probably 10 to 15 drops a day?
Yeah, once or twice a day. And that, when you purchase them, I think that's all written out in our literature, exactly how you start with 1 drop a day and build up slowly. You don't dive right into this stuff.
Begin slowly. Okay. Build slowly. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Okay. And then the total biology consult. Oh, okay, very cool. Do we have time for the digestive one, or should I call another day for that?
No, go ahead. It's great questions. Go ahead.
So, again, I'm trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together here. And I the past few years, I've had these tiny symptoms, and of course the doctor says, it's nothing. But then it gets more and more, and now they're starting to be something. For example, I was able to get up to all right, with colitis, it's really hard to hold on to weight. And after the whole thing with the cancer, I was able to get up to 125.
Let me just interrupt you. Can we say that you didn't have cancer because it was just a dysplasia, or did
No, I did have cancer. What happened eventually was that there was a large tumor that was blocking the anus, and the whole colon became a megacolon plus all the past ulcerations or whatnot. There was nothing that they could, salvage.
Okay. Okay. But it's gone. Okay. So
it's gone, and I've been no detectable. What is it called? For 4 years, this is going. This is 5. I'll be having the 5-year scan very soon.
So weight's hard to keep on with. So you're still having symptoms of colitis, so that
no. The symptoms I'm having now is a lot of burping, sometimes deep hunger pains, very little appetite, a dry nose, a lot of these burping sometimes, for no reason. I could drink water and burp. I could have nothing to eat and burp. I could eat and burp, you know what I mean? And then sometimes it feels in my throat at certain times, or maybe after I eat, maybe early in the morning, that there's almost in the back of my throat this acidic feeling, it feels sore and hot and dry, but almost there's this layer of acid there. So the doctor gave me this medicine. It made me so much worse. So after 2 days, I went off it.
What was it?
Ameriprazole or something like that. His theory is that I'm having too much stomach acid. Possibly I'm just not eating enough, and the acid is actually coming up.
Yeah, most studies show that what's happening in the stomach when you have that type of reflux and regurgitation and burping is you don't have enough acid. They've had people swallow little acid capsules, acid pH plastic capsules, and found out the vast majority of people with so-called acid stomach, it's a reflux back from the small intestine of acid, or more alkaline. The reflux is in the It's the pancreas.
Right. The intestine is more alkaline if it's backflowing into the stomach needs to be acid. Right. Okay. Right. And I'm finding the one thing that helps is menthol, either inhaling menthol or menthol cough drops. Finally now, also I was very, very dehydrated and had lost a lot of weight. So I'm rehydrating, and I'm eating things that give me pleasure, and finally I have an appetite again, and so there's something that shifted there, but something needs to heal, and I'm not quite sure what.
Right. Well, let's just, I'm looking up your omeprazolone. I can't even say it, that you were given. But anyway, let's look at the total biology for a minute. What are you having trouble swallowing? What is sticking in your craw? What can't you, abide so that it comes back up?
Nothing's really coming back up. It's not quite that. Just something metaphysically.
Metaphysically, yeah.
Okay.
What are you having trouble swallowing? I just can't swallow what this person or that person did or said or blah blah blah. Nothing.
Yeah, no, I'm not quite sure really.
Yeah, because you had
maybe
trouble down the other end. Right. You had trouble at the extreme other end. Now you're having trouble up at this end. It would be important, I think, for you to look at what conflict is causing your body to react in these ways that, if doctors are saying, well, we don't know, but take this drug, I mean, it's not a diagnosis. And, we could say, okay, maybe you have yeast overgrowth.
Right.
Maybe, you have gallstones, maybe.
Well, I do have some gallstones, yeah.
Right. But I would say with the history down the extreme other end, and now you're getting symptoms up this end, your body's saying there's a message that you're missing here. Pay attention.
Oh, wow. That's brilliant. Thank you. Wow. Thank you so much. Very good.
So email Ginny, thank you, at support@rnareset.com, and she'll send you the FAQ on total biology so that we can find the conflict.
Wow, yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
Okay, Zelda.
Okay. Any things that you recommend to take? You said that oxbile or HCl or something.
Get my free, what is it called? Future Health Now Encyclopedia. I have a 600-page encyclopedia that's free at drcarolyndeanlive.com, and look up digestion, hiatus hernia, and heartburn.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, so now how do I disengage here? Now press *5 again?
No, I'll do it.
You'll do it for me.
Thank you.
Okay.
Zelda's the first person who ever asked that. That's cool. It's been 10 years. Nobody's ever asked. Look at this girl. You're going places.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Zelda.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Zelda.
Bye-bye.
That's a great name, Zelda. Okay, we've got some quick questions from the InQuick, Carolyn. We'll want to buzz through these. Nancy in Portland, we're very good customers, having fun today with the radio show. She's loved listening about the fulvic acid part of the information we talked about, Restore and everything. And she also said she learned a lot from the last segment and was going to go back through and listen to it again last hour. So she's having some itching and things like that, and she may have some histamine issues. So she's learning from everything, so she just wanted to acknowledge that. Carol types in, is there a connection of back pain and magnesium deficiency? When something traumatic happens that's sad or stressful, my lumbar goes out of place and I have lots of pain. I am recovering from Lyme. Thank you for everything.
Right, sad or stress or something. The low lumbar in Chinese medicine, it's related to, well, the kidneys are there, the adrenals are there. It's the generative area. It's the area that first grows in the fetus. There's all kinds of stuff about the low back being our support structure, our ancestors. So yeah, it will go out under stress, and magnesium deficiency can be part of it. I remember when before I knew I had magnesium deficiency, I'd be walking around with like a back brace because my back felt so unsupported. And, straight magnesium deficiency. God, that was horrible. Anyway, okay, Jenny, move on. I don't want to...
Okay, but also let me just say, you used to talk a lot about Dr. John Sarno's work with healing back pain and the emotional conflicts with that. So maybe look up Dr. John Sarno's work. Do you still feel that way, Carolyn?
Yes, the poor guy. He just died recently. So absolutely, anything that he's written... Healing Back Pain was the one I read. You can get it on Amazon. And it talks about, as Jenny just said, the emotional conflict. It's part of total biology. But get yourself saturated with magnesium, and yes, read the book so that you know that the sadness and stress can put themselves into the physical. And if you address those, talk to someone about it, bring up whatever needs to be brought up so that it doesn't fester in your body, then you can relieve yourself both ways, both of the magnesium deficiency and the stress.
Very good. Mary typed in, does magnesium help collagen production in our bodies? Is drinking bone broth sufficient, or is another supplement needed?
This is what we'll be talking about with our Whole C Reset. Vitamin C is crucial for collagen production. Now, right now, we do have the RDA of vitamin C in our Restructure, so that's helping. But when we get our Whole C Reset, that's really going to help. And, yeah, I don't know. I tried the bone broth thing. I just couldn't deal with it. You had to dress it up in so many ways. God. So I just do my food-based vitamin C for my collagen. But, yeah, we'll be getting into that. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, very good. So you only have about another 2 weeks to wait. Hopefully, fingers crossed, everybody, yes, please, fingers crossed. Okay, then let's see. Lynn typed in, some say that leg cramps can also be attributed to potassium deficiency. What are your comments on that? Thank you.
Yes, and we do talk a lot about potassium. It's in the Remite book, Lynn, at drcarolyndeanlive.com, the Remite Recalcia book. Definitely potassium is important. You have to do potassium broths to get extra potassium. RDA potassium, I think, is around 5,000 milligrams. The FDA only lets us put 99 milligrams for a daily dose. For some bizarre reason, we're looking into that, actually. So, yes, potassium is important. Do potassium broth. It's all the vegetables in the world boiled down, and then you drink that broth.
Right, very good, excellent. Yeah, potassium broth is super yummy and delish. If you need a recipe, you can email support@rnareset.com, and we have a delicious recipe for you there, too, as well. Lots of bones. Chicken feet are also really good. They're ugly, but they're good to put in there if you've got some chicken feet on hand. They are ugly, but they are good. Okay, so we've got 2 minutes till the end of the show. Carolyn, I think we've just done a whiz-bag job tonight of covering so many topics and chitty-chatting with so many wonderful people and having so many great things to say. And we've got Restructure packets back in stock, those of you who love our Restructure product. And we've got all of our new packaging. Our new things are so pretty. And we're getting so many pretty things. We've got our pretty boxes that we're getting, you guys. Wait till you see. Now, maybe not this next time, but soon. You're going to see pretty little boxes coming. And we've got our little Restructure back, and we're getting things going. It's just so much fun. Anything else you'd like to add, Carolyn?
Next week, we're going to have Lorraine on the show from Canada. And it's not that only Canadians will listen. She's a practitioner who does some pretty interesting things, and we'll have all kinds of discussions. We have Canadian customers up there who are getting products from her and who are seeing her. So we're excited to bring Lorraine in next week.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. And all kinds of good stuff coming up through the end of the year. We'll keep you guys busy. Tune in, tell a friend, join us, and we'll talk about meat eating next week. You'll hear about the blood type diet, Mary. So tune in next week. We're going to talk all about meat and all kinds of fun things next week. This has been a great show, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Dean. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bill.
Great show, even though I didn't get to participate verbally.
Oh, have you been on the chat line, Bob?
No, I was just enjoying Zelda's sighs, her way of going, that's interesting. Very good at that.
Yeah, she was a happy girl. Yeah, we're happy with our callers. It was an awesome day. Every week I say better and better. Every show is better and better. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Bob. Thanks, Jenny. Thanks, listeners and callers.
Thank
you. You've been listening to Live with Dr. Carolyn Dean here on AchieveRadio.com. Till next time, so long, and thanks for all the fish.
AchieveRadio.com